So we'll be going to this very quickly. First game is going to be Mong versus Hero on La Mancha. Alright, jumping straight into it. Let me go ahead and turn on the Korean casters just a bit so they're not too loud. And so we're going to have it on La Mancha in the bottom right-hand corner. In the white, it is going to be Mong. And in the top right, in the red, it is going to be Hero. So jumping straight in this. I'm sorry, guys. Apparently, this is in the old definition graphics. We're not going to be seeing this in HD. A little bit strange, honestly, but it could be that they're playing on 1.16. I know a lot of pro players in Korea still prefer 1.16 over remastered for professional play, but they're gonna have to get used to it pretty soon because in just a few short weeks, ASL 4 is gonna be started, and that's all gonna be played on remastered. So eventually, people are gonna have to get used to it. And this is gonna be a barracks first coming out from Mong, so a very aggressive build coming out here on La Mancha. Hopefully, looking for maybe a hatchery snipe in the early game. We'll have to see. Luckily, Hero has actually opted to scout in the correct position first with his Overlord, so he's going to be able to get tipped off of this pretty early. He's going to realize, hey, that barracks is out a little bit early, and hopefully he won't be too greedy on his pool timing. So we see just basic stuff coming out from both players. The big point that we're going to be looking for is, can Zerg survive the first couple of minutes? Is Hero going to take a little bit too much damage from this bunker rush? We'll have to see. And the big point is, what is his timing on his pool? If he goes for a greedy 13 pool, he could be in a lot of trouble. If he goes for something a little more conservative like an 11 pool, he'll be just fine. So Monger already knows where his opponent is, actually, after seeing that Overlord. He knows his opponent is in the top right, so he's going to be gunning it there immediately with both SCVs, and we still see no pool from Hero. This is getting a little bit dangerous now. The pool only just going down now, so very greedy pool timing from our Zerg player, so he's going to probably have to pull a couple of drones to deal with this. Yeah, he's already pulling a couple, making sure that he doesn't get into any problems with this initial bunker rush. And he sees the two SCVs. He's going to have to pull that one injured drone back all the way home, make sure that it doesn't die off. And right now it's just a race to see if he can zone out the Marine for long enough while the rest of his Lings get there. It's going to be quite a while though, so this is going to take this is going to be a long dance. But the drones get right on top. They're going to actually surround one of the Marines. Second Marine almost getting surrounded. One drone is going to go down. Oh, this is excellent micro from Mong, but two of the Marines are down, and this third one is pretty weak, and even glitching through the SCVs a bit to try to catch it. Still, several of these drones have gone down, a third drone even going down, or fourth one, rather. So lots of drones actually going down there, and that was a pretty resounding success for Mong. He got lots of economic damage done by forcing Hero to pull all those drones, and also just killing off so many drones as well, so it was very well done. But Hero was a little bit greedy behind that. He didn't panic and build, 6 to 10 Lings. He only built drones after that, so even though he lost a lot of drones, he actually made it up pretty nicely by just making 0 Lings behind that. Very heads-up play by him, knowing that he could hold it well enough with just drones. He didn't have to rely entirely on getting those Lings out. He's going to go ahead and block off this ramp, make sure that Mong doesn't have the scouting information he needs for the rest of the game. This is one of the problems. If you don't get that SCV in there early on, you don't really get that scouting information, and Zerg can really indefinitely deny what you're going to be seeing. So a little bit frustrating for Mong, but he can still occasionally swoop into the natural, see what's going on. If he sees a bunch of Lings there, he knows there might be a Ling all incoming. If there's a bunch of if there's not any drones there, he knows there might be some pressure coming up. So he's got all the information he really needs. He doesn't need to go in super early. Not a huge deal for him. But actually going to be going Overlord hunting a bit. He knows that his opponent didn't make a lot of lings, so he might be going for a pressure and Overlord timing to pick off some Overlords. Looks like it is going to be a pressure at the front, and with almost no lings out for Hero, this could be a little bit disastrous. Hero really needs to make an extra set of lings or two in order to hold off this pressure. But it's already here, so he's going to have to pull drones. Again, some more economic damage just with a couple of Marines, forcing a couple drones to be pulled in order to defend this properly. But the glitching is pretty good, and a couple of free shots straight onto these Marines. The Marines actually not in a fantastic position. They are going to be able to kill off at least 2 drones, maybe a third one. Is the third one going to go down? No, the third one does not go down, and all of those Marines go down in return. So not the best trade for Mong, in my opinion. He's again sacrificing more Marines, sacrificing more of his mid-game pressure so that he can do economic damage. But honestly, if you don't have any pressure out on the map, then that economic damage doesn't really matter too much. It's going to take a little bit longer for Mutalisk to come out, but it doesn't matter because it still allows Hero to fully saturate his 2 bases and get up to the drone cap that he needs to produce those Mutalisks later on. So it's not really all that bad for Hero at this moment in time. He's still got control out on the center of the map. He just needs to quickly saturate his bases and not overreact and make units too early. He'll be in good shape. But Firebat's coming out from Mong. He's going to be going for that pre-Mutalisk timing with Firebats. But honestly, with how many units he's left at home, or sorry, how many units he's already lost in the game, it's a little bit questionable if this will work. It does create a little bit more pressure on Hero once again to spend some larva on drones so he can make those sunkens instead of spending all of his larva into Mutalisk. So it's a little bit annoying, but he is going to be able to hold off with just 2 sunkens and a couple lings coming back to defend. He can definitely hold this off. It's not that difficult of a pressure, but he does need to get Mutalisk out right now. Probably not play too greedy. The worst thing you can do at this point is save up all your larva and only go for Mutalisk just before this timing, because there still is a chance that you could die. But it looks like he's going to be okay for now, and Mong actually going into a very fast factory. This isn't going to be the +1 fiber axe that you would normally expect. It's actually just going to be +1 with 3 racks into a very fast tech. So there should be science vessels coming out very quickly for Mong. We'll see if he goes into the SK Terran style, which in my opinion is not very good with only 3 racks, but it could still technically work. The Mutalisks are out now, and they're going to be looking for revenge. Hero, well known for his good Mutalisk control. It's why he's one of the better players in ZVZ. So definitely expect to see some real damage getting done here, but already taking a lot of damage from those missile turrets. He is going to get full scouting information of his opponent and see what's going on while picking off as many SCVs as possible. He's found a nice little corner away from this missile turret, but he's actually just going to opt to take out the missile turret instead and hopefully take out as many units as he can on the way out. So far successful pressure from Hero, got full information of his opponent without taking too much damage, and he's going to take that cross-map 3rd base, which is going to be very nice in the coming moments as Mong starts to ramp up the pressure in the middle of the map. Queen's Nest on the way. We'll be seeing Hive shortly, and the Defilers to follow up so that he can defend that 3rd base properly and take a 4th as well. Meanwhile, the Mutalisks are just hanging out outside this main looking for more chances to do pressure. The double missile turret here is going to push away these Mutalisks for now, but again, the Mutalisks taking a pathway through the base. They're going to find a free spot in the middle here to actually get out without taking too much damage. So really well played by Hero. I love how aggressively he's going in here with the Mutalisks, keeping a good eye on his opponent's army, making sure that the Terran army has to be peeled back and forcing Mong to respond to him, while also picking off a couple of SCVs and Marines here and there. So well played by Hero so far. He's going to get that 3rd base up pretty soon. It looks like a couple of Hydros walking across the map right now. So he's going to have a free 3rd base up very, very soon. He's going to be in a solid spot to deal with the pressure that comes in shortly. But the one thing you have to really keep in mind is with this faster tech, there's going to be much faster tanks, there's going to be much faster vessels. So there's a very real possibility of a pre-hive timing. At this point, you have to make sure that you have enough lurkers so that the irradiates don't overpower you immediately. And also, you just need to make sure that you're continuing to harass with the Mutalisk, keep pressure on the Terran player. If at any point you really let up that pressure, there's a very good chance that you could find yourself in a bad place as the tanks and the vessels push in, because they can kill off the lurkers and take them down pretty quickly. So you just have to make sure that you have the right stuff in place. Now the hive is finished, we'll be seeing that Defiler Den coming down pretty soon. By Defiler Den, I mean the Defiler Mound. Sorry guys, I call everything a den. I call it the Ultralist Den, the Defiler Den, the Hydralist Den. It's all dens. So, third base pretty well saturated for Hero. He's done a really good job of getting his economy off the ground just off the back of this small Mutalisk pressure. And he's got a couple lurkers out in the middle of the field. I wonder if these are hold position to try to catch his opponent out of place. But I don't think Mong is going to move out fully until he really has a science vessel out. So we're not going to be seeing too much coming out from him, but not the greatest play right there. It took a lot of free damage on the Mutalisk, but he did get scouting information. He saw the tanks in the first science vessel, so he knows this is coming out. The bird lurkers are on top of this ramp, maybe hoping to catch a couple of Marines for free, but with the science vessel, Mog is going to be able to see this before he walks up here. Actually, a couple of Marines, wow, okay, that actually did get quite a bit of damage done, so very well played, and even canceling the third base here, doing a fantastic job so far in this game of keeping his opponent pinned back and preventing any further options. Lots of sunken colonies coming down, lots of lurkers and lings as well. Looks like there's going to be a big flank coming in the backside, maybe, or at least trying to pin this army to the third base. Surprisingly, there's nothing up there to defend the third base right now, so it's entirely up to the units reinforcing in this Nidus Canal and units that would be flanking in order to actually stop this. This is quite a difficult defense for Hero, but luckily he sees everything that's coming down. Oh, and he snipes the science vessel! That's amazing. So basically, a couple lurkers can basically hold this ramp forever now, and there's nothing that Mong can really do against this. Oh, and he picks off the second science vessel as it's moving out across the map, and some more reinforcing units. This is absolutely terrible for Mong. He just can't seem to catch a break in this game. Hero in complete dominating control. Mong is going to try a slow Hail Mary push up this ramp, but the Defilers are out, and first Storm comes down. That's going to be the end of this army with a couple Lings coming in from behind as well as the Mutalisk. It should be easy to clean up for Mong for Hero, and at this point Mong is in a world of trouble. Absolutely nothing left in terms of army. Still in 2 bases versus Zerg. It's going to be taking a 4th base now. Mong's already transitioned into that Vulture tech, and I think that might have been a mistake for him, trying to go straight into the mech tech right after that. Going to a mech switch this early is a little bit questionable because you really need that third gas in order to fully fuel the mech army with all of that extra gas. You need to be able to split the map properly. If you're still stuck on 3 to 4 bases trying to turtle with mech, it's not all that good. Zerg has a lot of options to break that, so I'm not really happy with this really early tech toward Vultures and getting those extra factories up. He may try a biomech transition just to focus more heavily on getting a lot of Marines and a lot of tanks up to secure his third base. Maybe that would work a little bit better than pure bio in this instance, but in either case, Mong is kind of royally screwed, to put it nicely. There's really not a lot that he can do right now, and with these Mutalisks coming in and preventing this third base from landing easily, it's going to be a pain for Mong to even get that third gas up. So 4th base is coming down for Hero right now. His main goal is to get up to 4 base saturation, get up those 4 gases, and then once he's able to do that, he can basically just stockpile a ton of gas and either blast out a ton of Mutalisks to deal with the mech switch, or he can just go straight into the heavy ultra composition. But oh, bit of a questionable move there from Mong. Mong is basically surrounded on all sides at this point. There's no way that he can get outside of this third base. And lots of units coming in. They're going to surround the rest of this Bio Army. And with a Adrenal Gland's finish, it's going to make short work of those Marines. That is going to be the GG very shortly. I'm sure this third base is broken. Even a couple Fire Bats coming out as well to augment this army. But just tons and tons of units going down. Even if Mong cleans this up, he's taken a lot of damage to his army. He's taken a lot of damage to his economy. And behind this, Hero has been absolutely free to drone up and do whatever he wants. The Ultras Cavern is down, so we're going to be seeing Ultras coming out very shortly as well. And those are going to basically just completely overrun this. Mong trying to get as much control over the center of the map as possible, sending out these Vultures to try to take center map control. And unfortunately, Hero did lose a lot of his Mutalisks during that engagement. That really cost him big time in terms of map control, being able to deal with these Vultures. So Mong trying to slowly claw his way back into this. This is so many Fire Bats, it's actually insane. But a very good play goes down, and that's going to be able to clean up a lot of those units. This may seem a little bit questionable because Hero's not getting anything done with these trades. Normally, in situations like this, if you make trades like that over and over and over, it's really bad as the Zerg player because you're making inefficient trades, you're losing a lot of units, and you're allowing the Terran to continue to macro. But in this case, it's really not all that bad because Hero is so far ahead. He can afford to make cost-efficient trades while he's waiting on his tech, while he's waiting on the rest of his saturation to really come in. And it's just putting a lot of pressure on Mong to try to get everything straightened out, try to get the map control that he needs out on the center of the map. But it's really difficult right now, and he's going to be losing another Science Vessel, and that's really painful at this point in the game. Surprisingly, he was able to get this third base and the fourth base up, but with now the fourth base fully saturated for Hero and a fifth base even coming out, he's basically just going to be able to blast out units over and over and over, and a good Plague is going to be able to weaken those Vultures up significantly for future Lings. Very nicely done to just send a bunch of Lings out across the map, get them to move around, and with this small detachment moving up, this has created quite a bit of pressure on Mong. Now he's got some units sitting on his doorstep, and these mines continually cleaned up. It's not going to be too long before Hero is able to just straight up push down the front door. And the real question we're wondering is, where's all that gas? There's all that gas. All those Ultras coming in right now. Those will be sent out across the map very momentarily to try to break either the natural or the third base and completely break everything that Mong has. Last Mutalisk goes down, so that's going to be the end of the Mutalisk, but lots and lots of Lings coming in right now, as well as the Ultralists. I'd like to see a Defiler in there as well, just to make sure that we have that, and there's nothing here to defend for Mong. He's going to try to send a couple units back there to defend, but at the same time, tons of units flooding down into the left side of the map as well. We're going to put pressure on this fourth base. There's a lot of mines here that might actually do significant damage, kill off all those Ultras, but with this much in your natural as well, and units getting on top of the production now, this is a pretty dire moment for Mong. He's going to have to divert a lot of his resources to cleaning up the stuff in the main, and meanwhile, his fourth base is pretty exposed. There's a very good chance that reinforcing units will be able to very easily clean up this fourth base in just a moment, but Hero actually just all over the place. He's not even focusing on one point in the map. He's just going to continue to push down either side, depending on how he feels. Very nice little small choke there with that siege tank, but eventually it is going to go down. And there is the GG. Mong cannot hold on. Zerg is up 1-0 in this match. Well played.